everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry that this video is quite late in the week. I hope it's still Sunday, it might be Monday, but if you follow me on Facebook, if you know me, then you have seen that on Monday I had a really bad hyperventilation. It basically was so bad that the ambulance had to come to help me breathe normally again. And I was shook for the whole week. My body was just without energy. I didn't feel like my old self. I still don't feel like my old self. But I do want to share something with you today, and it has to do with what happened on Monday. Because I have learned something from it, and I said this channel will be honest and real. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned from it and basically what you can gain from my experience. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So basically, I already felt like I couldn't breathe normally for a week. I have had this before, but never like this. And because you do this like constantly, you breathe constantly, right? It just made me so aggravated with myself that I was like, my body doesn't work anymore. Like, please, someone has to help me. And that's just something so scary. And I found out that I had this hyperventilation because of stress and because of blurred lines. And I'm gonna share with you why. But this world just tells us to go, 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 go. Like, we don't have time to stay where we are. We have to grow, we have to learn more, we have to always do something. And this lifestyle, this was just the last drop, and it made me overflow in a bad way. And yeah, I just wanted to really get into this. Like, why did this happen to me? And I don't want this to happen to anyone else. So what can I tell you guys so that this won't happen to you or something similar? Because it's not only a hyperventilation, stress can also cause like heart disease, something with your lungs, something like with your body. And I don't know if you feel this, but I feel like my work is never done. Like, there's always more to learn. There's always more shows to watch. There's always more people to hang out with. There's always more stuff to buy. This whole lifestyle, I've had enough of it. So in this video, I want to share 3 points. And basically those points are BFF. Best friend forever. But it says something different. The first point, the B, stands for balance. It's all about balance. I found out that this world would never really come to a point of full agreement. That the whole world will say, yes, this is what we believe and this is what we stand for. That will not happen. We have so many groups and they will always have different opinions. But it's our job in our life to see, okay, what do I stand for? What are my values? What are my norms? What are the things I believe? I saw 2 preachings of 2 really well-known pastors. One is Greg Rochelle and one is Stephen Furtick. And they basically said something that is contrary to each other. Greg Rochelle had a preaching about find a cause and start a war. Basically, that's what he said. Like, find something that you're passionate for and do something about that. While Stephen Furtick said, some things are not your war to fight. So where Greg Rochelle says, go find something and start a war, Stephen Furtick says, don't take everything as if it's your war to fight. And this messed with my head. I was like, so what do I choose? Do I choose one preacher or another? But basically it's all about balance. And I'm going to read some Bible verses now, because there's a lot of things about balance in the Bible as well. So we're going to start with Genesis. In the beginning, God created the world. We all know that part. But after 6 days of hard work, God actually rested. And it says so in Genesis 2, verse 2 and 3. By the 7th day, God had finished the work that he has been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he has done. So basically, in our week, we also do this. We are creating a lot. We are doing a lot. We're working hard to earn money, to be able to live. And sometimes we forget that God made the seventh day as a holy day, as a Sabbath. And that's actually so important that even God, like the God of all universe, he rested as well. Like, it's not bad to have rest. And we read about Jesus resting in Luke 5, verse 15 and 16. It says, "Yet the news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sickness. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." Okay, so Jesus was a popular guy, you know? Like, people have followers today. He had a lot of followers, and they followed him. But he also noticed that he has to sometimes withdraw from all the people, from all the busyness, from all the people who want something from him, and he would love to heal them. But sometimes he just withdrew from the crowd and went to a lonely place to pray, to be with his God, and to just find real rest. But in Matthew 15, verse 29 and 30, it says, "Jesus left there and went along the Sea of Galilee. Then he went up to a mountainside and sat down." This time, he didn't do that to rest. Watch. "Great crowds came to him, bringing the lame, the blind, the crippled, the mute, and many others, and laid them at his feet, and he healed them." And in the NLT translation, he said he healed them all. He healed all of them. He didn't stop. He was like, "I heal you, I heal you, I heal you, I heal you." So one time we see him withdrawing from the crowd, like all the busyness of life, to find a place to rest. And the other time, it says that he healed them all. So that must have been a lot of work if he had great crowds following him. So it's all about balance. So when I came back, I painted my wall in my closet and I made it a prayer closet. And I asked God, what can I put on this wall to start with? And he basically told me, rest. I don't like to rest. I don't like to sit still, because like this world tells us, like when you do nothing, you are nothing. Like if people ask you, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" and you say nothing, people are like, "You're nothing." But I do know that my body needs the rest. I love, love, love starting things, but I'm not a quitter. I love saying yes and helping people and serve people, but I'm learning to say no and to stand up for myself, because I noticed I had blurred lines. Not like the song, but I just had to not cross a line of doing too much that I would go under myself. So there's no striving in his love, but we also shouldn't get lazy. You could say, well, God wouldn't mind if I don't go to church today. Or I have to go to church because otherwise I'm not a good Christian. This all combined in a simple example is eating too much and not eating enough. Sometimes it's good to eat less, sometimes it's good to eat more, sometimes it's good just to be in the middle. So it's not always black or white. Sometimes it's the middle ground, it's the balance, it's gray. So number 2 is check your focus. BFF, we have balance, we have focus. When I was hyperventilating when I came home from work, I was having thoughts like, I might as well die now. Jesus, take me up to heaven. Like, I can't even breathe anymore. Please take me. I have to say that I have let fear control my body on Monday. And I know that if I would have stayed in peace, then this wouldn't have happened. And I know that the thoughts that I was having weren't thoughts of God. So I know that if the enemy cannot stop us from going after God, he will either distract us or shift our focus. Basically, my focus was on me walking on water, sinking, and not on the hand that was stretched out from God. My focus was on the mess in the world and not on the savior of the world. So what are you focused on? Are you focused on the test you're about to make and you don't feel like you're gonna pass? Or are you focused on the God who will always be with you, who loves you no matter what, who knows your future, who knows what's gonna happen, and who will help you and support you in whatever you do. So we shouldn't focus on our problem, but on our solution. The last point from the BFF is another F, and that stands for friendship and even relationship. So number 3 is, what does God say? If we are in a relationship with Him and we listen to His voice, then we can know when God says go and when God says no. God really wants you to involve Him in the decisions you're making. Like the saying, Daddy knows best, like He really knows best. So ask Him what He thinks of a situation and ask Him to give you wisdom in your situation. And a piece in the Bible that really helped me was 1 Peter 5 verse 6 to 10. And it says, humble yourselves therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Be alert and sober-minded. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. And the God of all grace, who called you into His eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will help restore you and make you strong, firm and steadfast. So in verse 9 they say, stand firm against him. They're talking about the enemy. I want to say with that part, stand firm against him, like go against what the enemy is trying to do, but don't make him your focus. Don't focus on the things that the enemy is doing, but focus on the things that God is doing and partner with that. And even though I was super out of it and hyperventilating and couldn't really breathe normally, the doctors wanted to talk to me so that I wouldn't focus on my breathing, but that I would focus on talking to him. And actually I got to share my faith with these 2 doctors that helped me, and that was the most beautiful thing that I got out of it. Everything was chaos at that moment for me. I couldn't breathe normally, my situation was still a mess, and I got to share my faith in God, what I did last year, and how my faith has grown since then. And I got to share with him how God healed the deaf ear in Kenya, and that's just something that's so close to my heart because it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I just got to share my faith with him. So out of this situation that the enemy might have used for bad, God used for good. So I have to focus on what is God doing. Like I could share my faith. That was what God was doing. So don't forget the 3 letters BFF. Balance. Check your balance. What should I choose right now? Go see where your focus is. 3, ask God what He thinks of your situation and what you should do. Ask Him for advice because He is talking to you. So that was the video for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I might have sounded out of breath because I am, but I hope you are inspired. Don't forget to put on the bell and subscribe to my channel so that I know that you like my videos. And yeah, I will see you next week.